Hi, this is Troxel. In today's tutorial, we're going to expand on the previous tutorial where we had the event sliding in from the right and bouncing off the left edge of the screen as a transition. Now what we're going to do is create a little ball image and have a bouncing ball and see how that bounces across the screen. So this time we're not only going to move the X value, but we're also going to move the Y value. And so let's see how we can do that. First of all, in Vegas, I created this little image right here. It's just an image on a transparent background, and it's just a ball in the center of the screen at the very bottom of the screen. So if we go across here, it's just a ball at the bottom of the screen. If we open up the pan crop, you can see it's just a white circle that's at the bottom center of the screen. So now we need to figure out how to move it. Alright, just like in the last time, we get our full width and our full height, only this time we're actually going to use both of them. Then for each of the tracks, we're going to go through all the tracks. If it's a video, then we're going to go through each of the events. If the event is selected, then we're going to look at that event. So first we convert it to a video event, just like last time. We get our list of keyframes and remove all of the old keyframes. If you want to see all of that explained, go back and look at the previous tutorial. Now I want to get the center X value, so I look at the first keyframe and get its center.x, and that will tell me how far over that ball is because that ball is in the center. I could have taken the width and divided that by 2 and gotten the same answer, so either way would work. So the first thing I'm going to do is create my video motion vortex XYZ, and I'm going to move it over the center X amount. That will move it left half of the screen, and then I'm going to move it up 75% of the screen, so full height times 0.75, and this needs to be a float value. Now that will put the ball kind of up in the upper left hand corner, but down about 1/4 of the way. And then I'm going to move that first keyframe. Once again, I have to figure out how many keyframes I'm going to have, and then I'm going to get my base bounds from that first keyframe that I just adjusted. Now, I'm going through all of the keyframes again, just like I did in the previous tutorial. So we're going to go from my frame equals 0, my frame is less than or equal to frame length, and increase 1 each time. Then we're going to get our X value, which is my frame divided by frame length. Once again, the X value's got to be between 0 and 1. So this will give me 0 for the first one, 1 for the last one, and a fractional value for all the ones in between. And then we figure out how far are we going to move left or right based on that X value. Well, I'm going to move the full width eventually. So I'll take the full width times the X value, which will give me my fractional move, and then because I'm moving to the right, I need to multiply that by -1, because moving to the right is a negative number in using pan crop. Then I want to get my value for the up and down. So the up and down is going to be calling the easeOutBounce function that we discussed in the previous tutorial, calling it with that X value. And then because we're going up and down, I'm going to multiply that by full height. But once again, as I'm only using 3/4 of the screen, I'm going to do full height times 0.75. So that'll get me a maximum bounce height of 3/4 of the screen. I did that just so that it could easily stay on the screen at all times. Then we create our new video motion vortex, and we're going to move it in the X position, the X move amount, and we're going to move it in the Y position, the number that we got from calling the routine, and then because I'm moving it down, I need to multiply that times -1. I could have put the times -1 up here, and we could have just put E's value down here. So let's go ahead and do that. Times -1.0 f, and then we can get rid of this down here. And then just like before, if it's the first frame, I'm just going to adjust the bounds on the first frame and move it by that much. If it's not the first keyframe, then I have to create a new keyframe. So I get a new video motion keyframe at the from frames my frame position. Then we add that new keyframe, set the initial bounds, and then move it by this amount. So let's see how this one works. I make sure my event is selected here, and then we run the script. And we notice the ball is now about 3/4 of the way up the screen on the upper left-hand edge, and let's play this back. So we can see that the ball bounced toward the right edge of the screen, and it was bouncing up and down, hit it off the bottom edge. So as you can see, we have a good proof of concept here showing the ball bouncing across the screen and how we can adjust both the X and Y values depending on the numbers that we are passing to that function, and we had the ball bouncing appropriately. So tune in to the next tutorial where we're going to be looking at adjusting an effect parameter doing the same thing, only this time it will be using keyframes inside an effect instead of pan crop, and we can see how that can be accomplished. So tune in to the next tutorial and let me know if there's something you would like to see, and we will look to see how we can program what you want to see programmed. Please sign up at www.JETDV.com and subscribe on YouTube to get further notifications on when new videos are presented.